was also interested about the variety test you did in Argentina. What traits made the seeds that you eventually chose the ones who were best fit for your region?
Well, usually when I learned this, I didn't know anything about this, but my partners are agronomists, so I learned a lot. So you start with the microplots, right, of 10 square meters when you start different repetitions, right? Different sowing dates, different spacing rows, different, different conditions. So you can understand which are the optimal conditions for the different varieties. So we ran trials with more or less 30 different varieties in different campaigns. So we did the first year we did around 5,000 microplots of comparing different strains in different ecoregions with these repetitions that I mentioned. So it was a lot in three different countries: in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. So it was a lot. I mean, it was a huge investment. I mean, the first investment that we did for this milestone that we needed, that was identifying the right variety, was more or less $1 million. It was a lot of money, and our investors weren't that happy, but they understood at the end of the day that was I mean, the first thing that we need to achieve, because if not, I mean, there's no industry. I mean, if you will have a crop that it's performing 300 kilos per hectare, it's not profitable for the farmer. They will keep doing soybean, and that's it. I mean, you don't have any origination. So it was a really tough work to do. But at the end of the day, I mean, we identify this cenola and Bielorusky as well for fiber. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not easy, and again, I mean, we try with varieties that we already knew that maybe the supply of this breeder wasn't at the, it wasn't um, at the, I mean, they won't be able to supply and give you and help you to increase the acreage. And unfortunately, the one that performed best was from the Polynesian program. That is one of the few breeders globally that can supply, right? That they have the supply chain for this, and they're pretty serious. I mean, the technical team they have and the support they give you, I mean, it's extremely important. So you don't have much vendors like that. I mean, you have just one in France, and that's it. And in China, I mean, we, of course, China for fibers are, they're extremely good because they can stand and they can support even the heat during summer. I mean, they're amazing, but they're not stable. I mean, 1 year you receive a batch from zero germinative power, then a batch of 20 of percent of germinative power, and you cannot rely, right, your business and an industry with an unreliable vendor. So you need an extremely good breeder. And of course, then developing the right partners among not just you, but the breeder with local partners, help them to to stabilize faster the variety and maybe develop a new strain. But yeah, I mean, those are things that takes a lot of time. And you guys, the both of you, you are lucky because you are in countries where they have a really good strains in Poland and in the Netherlands. I mean, I think that, well, different groups there, not hemp flax per se, but I think Sensi seeds, or no, they have a bunch of strains. So you are covered on that. But imagine that you're a country where, I mean, you have different weather conditions and you need to start from the scratch, from my -10, I will say, because it takes like 10 years to stabilize and get a proper strain, right? So yeah, those are maybe, I think, the main challenges as we discussed earlier.
Mm. Yeah, so the amount of biomass that is yeah, brought up by the plants, how consistent that is over the year, and also the consistency of supply as well as the germination rate. Those are the key variables
Yeah,
to yeah, and that is what you need to build a business on, with a security into the future.